Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Buddham namami, Dhammam namami, Sangham namami. Homage to Parabhante, Guru Bhante Bhikkhu Sangh, and metta to Anagarikas and Upasakas and Upasikas. So, once again, welcome everyone to this evening. As you all know, most of you know that we gather every Sunday. I think it is something very important as well as very helpful for our spiritual practice as well as for our well-being in our day-to-day life. So before we go ahead, may I request some of you to come forward? Fill the cushions at the front so that some of the people who are back can get some seat. Those of you who are at the back, please come. Munduko randi andaru. You have no pressure to sit till the end. You can leave whenever you're free to leave, whenever you feel like. Don't feel pressurized to sit. Okay, so now is the time to listen to Dhamma, teaching of the Buddha, and it is at the right time because we have already done puja and meditation. As I mentioned in the beginning, puja helps us to have a very peaceful atmosphere, an energetic, peaceful and protected atmosphere in us, in this place. And then we meditate, wherein we become more clear with ourselves, we become more settled, more peaceful. And as some of you may be aware of this Buddha's simile of a clean cloth, right? Clean white cloth. When the cloth is neat and clean and white, then it takes the color very easily. In the same way Buddha said, when our mind is quite peaceful, then it is able to understand the Dhamma, the teaching, the truth, the wisdom more clearly. It makes sense to us. We become more clear. We understand it easily. So therefore it is a time. So today my teaching would be Pattakamma Sutta, Sutta, which means proper use of wealth. Proper use of wealth. It is around wealth, but it also has other element also, and it is something that the Buddha specifically given to the householders, to the family people, to the upasakas, upasikas. Because this teaching was given to Anathapindika. As you may be aware, most of you, that Anathapindika was the foremost lay supporter of the Buddha among the people. The lady among the ladies was Vishaka, and so he comes to Buddha. He pays respect to Buddha, and he used to visit almost every day because that monastery was built by him. It was called Jetavana because he purchased it from Prince Jeta. So Anathapindika Jetavana. So he used to go almost every day to Buddha to meet, to pay respect, to serve and offer and listen to some Dhamma. For him it was a daily thing. So also most of the people of Savatthi city, Savatthi was a very prosperous and populated city in Buddha's time. Crores of people were living, not 1 crore or 2 crore, more than that, used to stay, and it was very happening city. So, but the very special part of the city is that majority of them were enlightened, Aryas, Aryas, which means different enlightened being, and Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arahant, these 4 enlightened being. So even most of them were family householders, upasakas, upasikas. So they used to spend good amount of time in spiritual practice. So morning part they take care of their household affair, family affair, and the afternoon part or late afternoon to evening was a spiritual time for them. So they used to spend time in meditation mostly, listening to Dhamma. They used to visit evening because, of course, those days people were not so busy like us today with most of our, we have to give a lot of time to our important friend mobile, so it needs a lot of our time. So similarly, the work, and some of you must be traveling for 1 or 2 hours every day, so you don't have time, that's what they say. And it is somewhat reality also, but somehow we also do not manage our time, right? We waste a lot of our time with our friend mobile. So therefore, that is the situation. But they were not like that because they were mostly enlightened people. Even the family people, I'm not just talking about monk. Even the family people were very much into spirituality, and they had achieved. Most of them, as I mentioned, achieve at least Sotapanna, the first stage of enlightened people. So they were all enlightened, even though the first level, but enlightened, most of them. So then Buddha tells him, householder, there are these 4 things that are wished for, desire, agreeable yet hard to obtain in the world. Number 1, may wealth come to me by legitimate means. Number 2, having acquired wealth legitimately, may I gain fame together with relatives and teachers. Number 3, having acquired wealth legitimately and having gained fame together with relatives and teachers, may I live long and preserve a long life. Having acquired wealth legitimately, having gained fame together with relatives and teachers, and having lived long, preserving a long life, may I, at the breakup of my body after death, be reborn in a good destination, a heavenly world. These, householder, are the 4 things that are wished for, desire, agreeable, yet hard to obtain in the world. So this particular passage sums up the desire of a family man, right? So all of you, most of you, maybe you may be thinking about spiritual goals once in a while, but most of the time your goal in life is this, right? So what Buddha is saying that there are these 4 things that you wish, that you desire, you want, and that is agreeable, something that you like. You want it and you love it. I want it, I love it. That's the modern way of saying, right? I like it, I love it. That's the way it is. So, but still, it is very hard. The Buddha says, though it is the desire, it is what you like and it is what you love, but it is something very rare, very difficult, very rare, right? So let us say what are they. So first one is, first one is, I should get wealth legitimately, ethically, right? So as a householder, you need wealth, right? You need wealth, you need money, right? You can't say, I don't want money. You need money, right? And at the same time, the money should come ethically, without cheating anyone, without telling lie, without harming anyone, So you have to do in a right way, in a proper way, in a ethical way, without corruption. So you need wealth, but from a right way. It is very important, because if you earn in a wrong way, then there will be problem. There will be problem, even though you may somehow manage to get the wealth, but you will not be happy. Even before you try to, earn money in a wrong way, the thought itself is troubling. The thought itself is troubling, right? Because it is wrong, so there will be some fear, guilt. Even though you believe in karma and result, kamma vipaka, that is, kamma vipaka means action and its result. Even though you may believe it or not, but that is the natural way of mind. That is the natural law. It pricks you, it gives you some kind of fear, some kind of guilt, right? And then as you, of course, if you start doing it, that is also troublesome. And even later, you feel very bad, right? Then you always have a fear that, I will be also deceived, I will be in trouble somehow. So you always have a fear of being trouble, of police, and other government and people. So you have to earn wealth in a right way. Also, from the karmic perspective, from the karmic law, eventually you will lose it, right? If you earn some money in a wrong way, you lose it eventually. Somehow you lose it. So that's the first one. Second, that's your wish. Yes. So people wish that, I need wealth. I should get money, but in a right way. Of course, everybody wants the right way, but then maybe there are some hurdles, or somehow you want a shortcut, right? You want it quick, you want it fast, your impatience, right? Even though this is the right way, but you want to take some shortcut, just like in the traffic, right? You want some shortcut. So that's the problem, So you can see that it is also to do with our own impatience, with our own sort of, wrong desire. It is a wrong desire, right? It is as a good desire, of course, it is good. But if it is wrong desire, it is not good. So there are two kinds of desire, right? Good desire and wrong desire, bad desire. So you need to have desire. Nothing wrong in having desire, but the right desire. Number two is that you want fame, you want good name, good reputation in the society, and you want to have relatives, with whom you can share your feelings, your whatever, and you need teachers. So teachers here may be, what we call in today's time, your mentor, That's the term we use in today's time. You need mentor for some aspect of your life, right? So you want not only wealth, but you also want good name, right? You want a good name, that people should say, this person is good, so and so is good. So when you have a good reputation, you feel good, right? But if you hear some people saying, oh, this is a wrong person, this is a bad person, then you feel bad. You don't feel bad, right? You feel bad. So you want a good name, and you want relatives, because when you have wealth, what you will do, right? You will celebrate with your relatives, right? With your friends and relatives, and so you need some good relative, so that's something you desire, so that you can share and you can have good time with everyone. So that's your desire. Second desire. Third desire is that you want a long life, right? You want a long life. You want all of this, and you don't want to die soon. You want to die maybe 80, 90, at least 90. I think that should be okay. So 80, 90, like that. So because you want to see your grandson, and then you also want to see your great grandson or daughter, right? So you have a desire, right? You, of course, with good health. That's your wish. Then also you wish that after I die, I should be reborn in a good place, in a good family, in the human world or in the divine world. That's your wish, right? So these are the four things that everybody wish and desire, and they like it, they love it, but it is very difficult. It is quite difficult. Now, Buddha gives us a picture of what you want, right? So these days I hear from a lot of youngsters who come and meet me, talk to me. They are confused about life, what to do, what not to do, all of that. But I think this particular passage gives us a clarity that your family and your wealth, your name, your relatives, and your health, and your karma, because when we talk about rebirth, being born in a good place, it means your karma, right? So these are the things that you want, right? These are the things that you need. You want, and also it's a need, right? It's a need for you. Not only you want it, but it's a need, right? So I think one can focus on this. This is difficult, but it is something that you can focus as a lay person. Because according to Buddha, there are two paths, or you can say two options for our life. Broadly, I'm saying broadly. One is like us, all the monk, who are homeless. We are all homeless, right? So voluntary homeless, not by not by chance or by this thing, but voluntary, homeless. So even though we stay in a monastery here, we all stay here. We have a room currently, so which we don't own ourselves. The community owns it, in the sense there is an organization that owns it. So we don't personally own this place, this monastery, right? So it is it is something for everybody. Anybody who wishes to become monk, it is for everyone, right? It doesn't belong to one community or one right? It is for everybody. Anybody who wants to become monk can just grab a cushion and sit, right? So this is how it is. So this is one, and then secondly is your kind of life, which is family life, which means having partner, having children. That is one way, broadly, right? Because otherwise, if everybody becomes monk, then how the world will go, right? So anyway, so these two Buddha says, monastic and householder. We call it householder, grhastha, what we call grhastha, right? And in this both, you can be happy, you can achieve spiritual goals, right? You can grow spiritually also. It's not necessary for you to be a monk in order to grow spiritually, in order to achieve enlightenment, right? It is very much possible, as I mentioned. Even this Anathapindika, he was also, he was a lay householder, but he was enlightened person, first stage of enlightenment. He was a Sotapanna. There are 4 stages. He is the first stage. So once you are in the first stage, you are bound to achieve the final stage, which is the 4th stage, within 7 lifetime. No more 8 life. Within 7 lifetime, you will achieve nirvana. So nirvana is freedom from birth and death, right? So now, whether we like it or not, we have a life, right? We have a life as a human being, and until you achieve the final enlightenment, you have to keep reborning, right? Retaking life, rebirth, right? Keep happening. So Buddha said there was uncountable lives in the past. There will be uncountable lives in the future. So until you achieve enlightenment. So, but then Buddha is also saying that he's speaking very practically. That even though our goal is to achieve nirvana, which is freedom from birth itself, but for us to grow toward that path, we also need to take care of our daily life, right? So, which is very important. So this is something Buddha mentioned. So now, Buddha, in the second part, Buddha gives how to achieve it. As Buddha mentioned, wealth, legitimate wealth, and relatives, and teachers, and long life, and good rebirth. How to achieve, and what 4 conditions lead to the accomplishment of these 4 rare blessings. So now, what is the way to achieve? So all of you want it. All of you want these 4 things which I already mentioned. But how to achieve? Buddha is also giving a way, giving a path. So he mentions 4 things. Yes, accomplishment in faith, saddha, accomplishment in virtue, shila, accomplishment in generosity, chaga, accomplishment in wisdom, panya. That is faith, virtue, generosity, and wisdom. So now what is the first one? Faith. So Buddha said, here a noble disciple has faith. He places the faith in the enlightenment of the Tathagata. Indeed, the Blessed One is an Arahant, perfectly enlightened, accomplished in knowledge and conduct, fortunate, knower of the world, unsurpassed guide of those who need restraint, teachers of devas and humans, the awakened one, the Blessed One. This is called accomplishment in faith. But here Buddha is using the word noble disciple. So noble disciple means Ariya Savaka. Ariya means enlightened, because remember that this Buddha is speaking to Anathapindika, who was already an enlightened person. He was an enlightened person. But it is also for you all, for all of you also. So you need to have a faith. Now here Buddha is speaking from a spiritual perspective also, right? So he's speaking about he's speaking about the family life combined with spirituality. What we call the balance of worldly life and spiritual life, So he's speaking from that perspective. So take it from that perspective. He's not just giving a guide for how to earn money, get rich, that kind of thing, but he's speaking from a place of balancing the spiritual and the worldly, the family life. So he's saying first you need to have faith in the Buddha, right? You need to have faith in Buddha. Here means enlightened person, somebody who is enlightened. So who is Buddha? Somebody who is enlightened, who is Arahant. Arahant means somebody who destroyed his own impurities, right? So we all have the impurities inside us, sitting inside. Maybe it is at the bottom, but it is still there, right? So to remove all the impurities, greed, hatred, ignorance, jealousy, all the I will mention in the later part, all the hindrances, that. So Buddha uprooted that totally. It's not like he has just subsided, but he has uprooted. Now for all of us, we have subsided, right? Even though we have impurities, but we have subsided by say certain discipline, by education, by some culture, culture, education, to some extent fear, punishment also, right? Because of fear, punishment, and fear in the result of karma. Because of so many reasons, or because we know what is good for us, so we do that. Everybody is in different level, right? Based on their own karma, their own effort. So, but Buddha has totally uprooted, which means Buddha also had these impurities, right? Before he achieved Buddhahood, the state of Buddha, right? He had all those impurities within him. So he has uprooted that, and he has, by his own ability, he has discovered the path of enlightenment by his own ability, which means by fulfilling all the spiritual requisite from many, many lives, from so many different life after life, right? So all of that, and therefore he has all the knowledge, all the wisdom, all the conduct, good conduct, and then he is also the he brings blessing. He knows all the world, right? Buddha knows all the world. He knows the entire universe. Buddha knows which beings are there in which world and how they are born in all the different world. Buddha speaks about 31 existences, all the human devas, brahmas, everyone, how they are reborn, how they die, what karma they do. So he knows the entire world. Their mind also he knows, and therefore he is the teacher of not only human being, but he is also the teacher of gods. Even the gods, devas and brahmas, they follow Buddha. They are the disciple, followers of Buddha. They also achieve enlightenment because of Buddha, right? So this is the quality of Buddha. So you have a faith in Buddha, right? So when you say I am a spiritual person, so you need somebody as your guide, and who is that? Is the Buddha. It is the Buddha, but just saying I am Buddha's disciple, that is not enough, right? You need to know Buddha. You need to understand Buddha. Buddha says you have to examine me. Am I really Buddha? Do I really have those qualities? And one of the way of looking at it is that when you go through his life, all of his life, even the past life, like the Jatakas, and a lot of stories you see in DhammaPattakamma, how Buddha, in sutras also, how he interact with people, what he says when people put a question, what he says, when there is a trouble around, how he relate to it, how he says. So when you read all of that, you get a clarity in that yes, he is Buddha, he is enlightened person. He is somebody who is totally enlightened. So therefore we need to have, because otherwise if we just blindly believe somebody, even Buddha, if you just blindly believe Buddha, that is not strong. So your confidence is not strong. If you don't have confidence strong, then you will also not grow spiritually strong. Even though you may make money, earn everything, but you may not grow in spirituality. And when there is no spirituality, then it means that there is no happiness and there is no fulfillment. Today we hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, I have money, but I don't feel fulfilled." That is because of the lack of spirituality. And for us to feel that spiritual fulfillment, we need some guide, and that is, Buddha said, "I am the guide." I am the guide, but we need to have strong faith in Buddha by knowing Buddha, and also by knowing Buddha, and at the same time a kind of a meditation. Actually, there is a meditation wherein you keep on recollecting the qualities of Buddha, all these 9 qualities. So that way you gain a strong spiritual connection with Buddha, right? And when you have a strong spiritual connection with Buddha, then your spirituality flows, naturally. It flows very peacefully. It flows seamlessly. It flows very well. So that is the first one. That is and Anathapindika being, he was a Sotapanna. So when somebody becomes Sotapanna, they have what is called Aveccha Pasada Saddha, which means unshakable faith. So until you achieve the first stage of enlightenment, your faith in Buddha is still shaky. It is shaky. It is not unshakable. All of us, until we are at least first stage of enlightenment, our faith is still shakeable, right? So he was having that faith. So it's very important, faith, but faith with understanding, not blind faith. Secondly, accomplishment in virtue. Here a noble disciple refrained from killing living beings, from taking what is not given, from sexual misconduct, from false speech, and from intoxicant that cause heedlessness. So second way to achieve whatever you desire, as mentioned in the beginning, is to fulfill your desire, to achieve your desire, spiritual and worldly desire, is to follow the Shila, virtue, which means you can say your karma, your action, you see. And why it is important? Because we, as a human being, morning till evening, we are thinking something, saying something, doing something. That's the only 3 things, right? And Shila deals specifically with your speech and your action, right? So what you should not do is, should not kill anybody, should not take somebody's thing, should not engage in wrong sexual activity, and should not tell lie, and should not engage in alcohol, drinks, right? So these are the 5 Shila that is a minimum, bare minimum that every human being should follow. All the problems in the world today is because of not following these 5 precepts. There is a war, there is a killing, right? There is infidelity, men, women, they are not loyal to each other. Everybody, there is a lot of deception, telling lie, and there is a lot of drink, a lot of drink. It is almost as a celebration means drink, too much drink. Sometimes over drink, and sometimes there are people who drinks every day as well. Every day there is drink, and that too over drink. But now the question of little drink, moderate drink, and over drink, that is something I don't want to discuss, because I'm also not very sure about it. Because some people, they say, some moderate drink should be okay, but I don't know, right? So, but some people, they say, you may say moderate drink, but somehow it slips into over drink, and then you have a problem, and lot of problem, right? Then you will lose control over yourself, and your wisdom will go down, your intelligence will go down, and then lot of problem. So these are the things. So you need to take care of your action. Another way of looking at it is that even though you get angry, even though you get irritated, even though you feel, very much sort of angry, but you may even say something harshly to somebody. You may hit somebody a little bit, to some extent. But at least I will not kill somebody. That is the border. Right? Of course, you shouldn't even, say something bad to somebody. But since we are not enlightened, we do say something bad to somebody, right? We do sometimes hit some people. But make sure that you don't cross the boundary of actually taking somebody's life, which is very serious. Which is very serious, which is a very bad karma, which can really put us in trouble, in big trouble. So therefore, similarly, you do want to have things. You do feel covetous, right? You do want something. You do want money, but you don't take the route of taking somebody's unethically, illegally, right? So also all the five precepts. So these 5 precepts are actually the boundary, within which we stay. So it is also advisable to every day take it. Oh, I refrain from killing, I refrain from stealing, I refrain from sexual misconduct, I refrain from telling lie, I refrain from intoxication, right? So it's good to, in the Buddhist culture, they take every morning, Panatipata Veramane Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. I voluntarily undertake the precept of not killing anybody. So it is a voluntary undertaking, right? Sikkhapadam means training precept. So you are training yourself. It's a training. It's not like you take it and then you are perfect, right? You're training yourself, or you're reminding yourself, and it is something you take upon yourself because you know it is good for you, right? Nobody has force upon you. Buddha also not force on you. You are taking yourself for your own well-being, right? So these are precepts. The second is precept, accomplishment in virtue. So you become accomplished, right? Accomplished means you become trained, you become expert in that, right? You become more stable in that. And number 3 is accomplishment in generosity. Here a noble disciple dwells at home with a mind free from the stain of stinginess, generous, open-handed, delighting in giving, one to ask from, one who takes delight in sharing. This is called accomplishing generosity. Now, as a family man, you have home, you have money, you have many things which you need, right? It is something you need. But you need to share something, right? You need to, if somebody is asking, you need to share a little bit, right? You don't need to give away everything, otherwise you will be on the road. but you need to just have the habit of just sharing a little bit. As Buddha said, dajjang appasmin pij yachitos. If somebody is yachana, if somebody is yachaka, asking, if somebody is asking, dajja, give, appasmin pi, alpa, even little. If somebody is asking, give even little, right? Of course, you should know whether the other person is genuine or not, but something you have to give. You should give. You shouldn't say no, right? And which is like, here giving means like actually giving, right? So you should have this, develop some habit. As I said, within your capacity, within your limit, within your own capacity, within your own this thing, you give, so that you are not stingy, so that this whatever you have is not like a big burden on you, right? Because if you are never giving, only taking, then it's like a big burden on yourself, right? All the wealth you have, it's like it becomes like you feel so much. Oh, I have to protect my wealth, I have to preserve it. Oh, if somebody takes it away, so if somebody cheats it. So it's like wealth becomes a big burden for you, Instead of making you happy, it makes you more miserable, right? So therefore, as I said, little bit you have to give, bit by, within your capacity, just give, every now and then, whenever somebody asks or whenever there is occasion, you just give, little bit. Yeah? I won't say little bit, but within your capacity. So this free your heart. It makes your heart, and it also, as they say, the one who gives gets back in multiple fold, right? So if you are only taking, then you won't get more also, right? And even if you get more, you will not be. As I said, you will not be very happy. You won't be that much happy, right? So this is the number 3. So then number 4, accomplishment in wisdom. Here number 4 is accomplishment in wisdom. So what is wisdom? Here a noble disciple, knowing sensual desire to be a corruption of the mind, abandons it. Knowing ill will to be a corruption of the mind, abandons it. Knowing sloth and torpor to be a corruption of the mind, abandons it. Knowing restlessness and remorse to be a corruption of the mind, abandons it. Knowing doubt to be a corruption of the mind, abandons it. So 5 corruptions, right? 5 hindrances. I was telling you about hindrances, right? Some kind of earlier. So this is the hindrances. This is the corruption. 5 hindrances. The first one is called kama chanda, right? Kama chanda is sensual desire. What does it mean, right? It means that you are somehow you're obsessed with sensual pleasures, right? That is 5. Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and your thought. So whatever, imagination. So these 6 senses are our world, right? It is our world. Morning till we see something, we hear something, we smell something, taste something, food, we touch something, whether it is cloth or people, and we imagine something. So if you, Buddha says that we need to be moderately connected with the sensory object, right? Sensory object, which means for the eye, form, a sound, a smell, taste, there is taste and touch. So we need to have some control, some kind of restraint in our sensory experiences. So Buddha is not saying that you don't enjoy, you can enjoy, you can have good food, good clothes, good house, good vehicle, but you should not be infatuated with it, right? You should not be infatuated, which means you are so much kind of obsessed with it, right? You just want it, or you're just like, as I mentioned, this friend, right? Many people are so much obsessed with reels, hours together. That is one obsession, isn't it? That is, or food, right? You want all the time food, junk food, a lot of junky food and unhealthy food. You just for the taste, even though your stomach doesn't want, but your tongue wants it, right? You just want it. Right? A lot of people, these days eat for stress relieving. For stress relieving, what they do? Eat and eat and eat and eat. That's not a very good way. So, what Buddha is saying is that don't become slave of your sensory experiences. Right? You use them, you enjoy your life, be happy, but don't become a slave. Don't overdo it. Don't go too much, too long. In that. So number 2 is ill will, Vyapada. Vyapada means hatred, anger, ill will. Last Sunday I mentioned about that story. Some of you who were here, these 2 ladies. They had some enmity, right? And because of that, they took revenge on each other. Not one life, many lives. They are human being. After that, they become cat and hen. Then they become tiger and deer. Then again born as human being. Still the enmity is continuing. It was because of Buddha that they were safe. Buddha said, actually one became a yakini and one became a human being. And this yakshini, she was coming to eat the child of this woman, who was, that woman was his enemy. So Buddha said, 2 of you, then somehow this woman came to Buddha because they were near the Buddha, to the monastery, and then because Buddha's power, the yakini could not catch. So then he called both of them and he said, you two, both of you were fighting like this, for many lives. It is not ending, So, therefore, ill will, anger, that's a corruption of mind. It is not good. Right? Sometimes we justify, I am angry because of this, because of that. My anger is justified, right? But anger is anger, hatred is hatred. Hatred is, as Buddha said, nahi vere na veran. Hatred is never calm by hatred. Esa dhammo sanantano. This is a sanatan dharma. That is, sanatan dharma means which is always there. Sanatana Dharma is always there. What is always there? Hatred can never be appeased by hatred. That is why you see, every war, no war created peace. Right? Only destruction. Second World War, First World War, then Cold War, then so many other wars currently which is happening. Nobody benefited. Right? So also if you have anger, enmity, hatred towards somebody, toward yourself, you should not even have hatred toward yourself. That is also wrong. Right? So you should know hatred, because the hatred is something which is going to spoil your mind, spoil your life. So number 2. Then number 3 is sloth and torpor. Sloth and torpor means lethargic, laziness, postponing, inactiveness, lack of energy, lack of effort, just wants to be lying down and on the bed and postponing, not making effort. So that is the 3rd one. 4th one is restlessness and remorse. Restlessness and remorse means, restlessness means you are just thinking, on and on, just thinking. And not only thinking, worrying also, right? You think about something past or future, that happened to me, I'm poor fellow, this happened to me, right? So you are worrying about the past, or you are worrying about future. If this happened to me, if that happened to me, if somebody hits me, if somebody does this to me. So you are like just overthinking. What in today's world, in today's term, it is called overthinking, right? It's quite a popular word. But overthinking is nothing but there is thinking and worry. Anxiety, right? Anxiety is worry only. This uddacha kukucha. Uddacha kukucha. This is something not good for us. It is too much thinking what it will do, right? So we have to think less, do more, right? Think less, do more. That's the thing, right? So do something, simple thing. If you cannot do big thing, of course everything will go in a small way, right? So just do small thing. There is one Jataka story of Buddha past life. I think Buddha was the advisor, and somebody took advice very seriously. He said he saw one rat, one dead mouse, and Buddha, I think he saw that, and he said, if somebody is very, very energetic, even with a dead mouse, he can become millionaire. So that's what the Buddha said. Buddha, he was the advisor to the king, right? Then somebody was passing by. He overheard that. Oh, if the advisor of the king is saying this, it must be something. So he took the mouse. There is a story you find, how he eventually becomes millionaire, right? So you need to do something, right? You need to keep yourself active from morning till evening, whether it is exercise, meditation, puja, reading, doing your work, meeting people, doing your thing. So you need to be, active. And then finally vichikicha. Vichikicha means doubt, skepticism. That is what we call in today's term maybe lack of confidence. What we say, lack of confidence. A lot of people, they say, oh, I don't have confidence. So that is also corruption of mind. So you have to think, yes, I can do it. I'm a human being, and if other human being can do, I can also do my thing, right? So, and I think it also comes with taking certain steps. As Buddha said, you just take steps. If you take steps, you get more confidence. If you don't do it, if you don't take step, you don't get confidence. So these are the 5 hindrances which we have to abandon according to Buddha. So faith, virtue, generosity, wisdom. So you can see that by having all of these, what will happen is you will get wealth, right? And you will be able to maintain your wealth as well, because you are, a lot of people who are alcoholic and having, into having sort of wrong practices, wrong habits, they lose money, right? So by having all of this, you can earn money, you can protect money, you can use your money wisely, and you can grow spiritually, you will have friends, you will have long life also, right? If you have, all these precepts, your life will also be long, right? You will be healthy, you will be quite healthy. And then you will also definitely have a good rebirth, What is the proof of having a good rebirth? Now you have a good birth, right? If you have a good birth now, it is very much expected that you will have a good rebirth. If your now birth is good, then rebirth will also be good, right? So that's the thing the Buddha mentioned. So all of this you can achieve in a very good way. So what Buddha said is, now the last part is how to use your wealth, So I will not go much detail, probably just read out. Howsoever a noble disciple with wealth acquired by energetic striving, amassed by the strength of his arms, earned by the sweat of his brow, righteous, lawfully gain, make use of 4 kinds of proper deeds with his wealth. So now you have earned wealth. How? Energetically, with your strength, with sweat, blood and sweat, and rightly, ethically, legally. Now, how do you use it? He said, self-support and dependence, first of all. He makes himself happy and properly maintains himself in happiness which means you use it for yourself. There are some people who don't use it, because there is a story in Buddha's time where this person was a millionaire, but he was just living like a poor person, right? So you earn wealth, but don't just store it, use it, right? Use it for yourself. Again, Buddha said, use according to your level of wealth, He makes his parent happy and properly maintains them in happiness. He makes his wife, children, servant, workers happy and properly maintain them in happiness. He makes his friends and companions happy and properly maintains them in happiness. This is the first proper use of wealth. So you are using it for all the people that matters in your life, all basically yourself, your family members, friends, relatives, and your community, right? So you use for that. So you use your wealth, again, within your own capacity. One of the things Buddha said that you shouldn't spend more than what you have, right? Your spending habit should be in line with what you earn, right? Your earning and your expenditure should be level. You are earning this much, spending this much is not good, and you are earning this much but spending only this much, that is also not good. So Buddha said balance. In fact, the very Buddha's teaching is called middle path, right? Moderate path. So that is to be maintained. Number 2, protection against danger. He makes provision against misfortune, such as those arising from fire, water, ruler, which is government, thieves, or unloved air, some bad children, In such calamities, he provides a safeguard and makes himself secure. This is the second proper use of wealth. So now you have to protect your wealth, right? It is, you just earn, but you just keep it. You don't know where you keep it. It's wrong, right? You have to see that your wealth is not by fire. You are free from fire or water. Those days, of course, there is no bank, so they used to keep near the water, under the ground, those silver and gold. But in today's time, what are where to invest, where to put your money, in the safe hand, not put in some scammers. These days, many scammers, we have in the phone, always be careful from the scammers, like that. So you have to maintain, you have to make sure all your papers are put good, all your documents are land document or all the documents, they are in proper place. Make sure that they are safe. If fire comes, then if it goes away, it's difficult. So you have to make sure and make sure that nobody takes it. And also be careful from your children who are bad children, right? So not all the children are good, right? Sometimes there are these spoiled children because of some bad friends. So they will just spoil your money. So be careful from them as well, right? So some people, they're like, this is my children, no? So they just spoil them. So it is out of love, but that love is not a good love. It's a wrong love, right? So you have to discipline your child from the childhood, punish them whenever necessary, and bring them well disciplined. And if they turn out to be wrong, so you have to keep yourself safe from them. So number three is the 5 offering, Pancha Bali. There is the 5 Bali, Balidan. So what is the 5? He makes the 5 oblation, Bali, to the relatives, to guest, to ancestor, to the king, to the deities. So you share chunk of some of your wealth with relatives also, right? You help your relatives also with your wealth. Whatever, again, within your capacity. You also share with your guest, right? You bring your guest to home, you share something. To ancestor, like your father or grandfather who passed away, all the ancestors or the grandfather or you share merit with them. You offer them. There are certain procedure, right? Which means you offer food to in their name. You offer food. You do dana to the, to wherever it is possible. To the king, so you help the government, in your own capacity, give the tax or like that. And to the deities, you give to the devas. So you do something good and offer it to some devas. And basically, devas, they can't eat your, take your thing, but what you do is you give it to some people, sometimes poor people, sometimes to some people. Also, you can give to the monks also. And you share the punya with the devas. So generally with devas, we share the punya that you get through the giving. And number 4 is support for ascetics and Brahmins. Which means he established lofty offering to the ascetics and Brahmins who refrain from intoxication and heedlessness, who are settled in patience and gentleness, who tame themselves, calm themselves, extinguish themselves. So such a gift is of the highest kind, heavenly, productive of happiness, leading to heaven. So you also give to the sadhus and rishis and munis, or spiritual people, religious people, who are what? Those people who are free from all this worldly kind of life, and who have patience, gentleness, who have tamed their mind, and who have calmed down their mind, who have all the impurities of the mind, who have tamed. So if you give, you should also give them, because that is the highest. That is a very great punya, highest of the highest blessing for you, right? So these are the 4 ways to use your wealth, which is personal for your family and friends and relatives. Secondly, you should keep yourself safe, and then bali, and then support for the religious purpose. So you also share some with the religious purpose, because you get blessing, you get guidance from the religious community. Thus, householder, the normal disciple with wealth acquire righteously, make these 4 proper use of wealth. Whatever wealth of anyone is exhausted, apart from these 4 proper use, is said to be wasted, misused, wrongly applied. But whatever wealth anyone is exhausted in these 4 proper use is said to be rightly used, properly used, rightly used. So, as Buddha mentioned, this 4 proper use. So, whatever you use within this 4 kind is good use of wealth. Rest are waste of money. So that's what Buddha is saying. Rest, whatever you do, is just waste of money, right? So Buddha concludes with a sloka, with a gatha. Enjoyed are the wealth and possession, misfortunes are overcome. Lofty offerings have been made, the 5 kinds of sacrifice fulfilled. The virtues and restraint ascetics are supported. Whatever purpose a wise man would desire wealth for living in a household, that purpose of mine has been fulfilled. I have done what is blameless. Reflecting thus, the mortal man established in the noble Dhamma is praised here in this life, and after death rejoice in heaven. So these are the teachings that the Buddha gave, how to, especially for the so it's a blueprint, right? It is a way for the family people, how can they grow in their life, materially, spiritually, financially, in every way, right? How you can make best use of your precious human life. According to Buddha, human life is very precious, very, very precious, because of good karma, we get human life. But if you don't know, we take human life granted, right? We just think, 7 billions are there, what is there, what is a big thing of human life, we think like that. But it is a very, very precious, because as a human life, we can grow in our life spiritually, even more than divine beings, because divine beings, they cannot see suffering, so they cannot grow spiritually. Only human being can grow spiritually more. So this way you can make best use of your life and you can grow. You will have a good life now, you will have a good life in future, and finally you will achieve the ultimate happiness, which is Nibbana. So with this I conclude. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.